Fellas, let's be honest for a second. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where a married woman seems to be giving you more attention than you expected? Maybe it's a lingering glance, a knowing smile, or those subtle touches that seem to carry more weight than mere friendliness. You're probably wondering, is this real or am I just imagining things? Let me tell you, you're not alone in this. In fact, this scenario is more common than you think, and the truth is, most men miss the signs entirely. Why? Because they're either too caught up in self-doubt or too focused on the obvious. Here's the thing, attraction is rarely as straightforward as we like to believe. It operates in whispers, not shouts. A married woman who finds herself drawn to someone outside her marriage often negates these feelings with subtlety and calculation. Now, she isn't going to wear her heart on her sleeve, but if you know what to look for, the signs are there, clear as day. In this video, we're diving deep into the psychology of attraction and unpacking the hidden signals that a married woman might be attracted to you. These aren't the clichés you hear about in passing. We're talking about profound psychological cues that most men overlook. By the end of this, you'll not only recognize these signs, but understand their deeper meaning, giving you clarity and control in any interaction. Think about this for a moment. What if understanding these subtle cues could change how you perceive relationships? What if you could decode her behavior with confidence and act from a place of integrity and self-awareness, embodying the stoic values of composure and authenticity? This isn't just about recognizing attraction, it's about knowing how to navigate it responsibly and effectively. Let's jump right into it, starting with one of the most telling signs, when she makes time for you, even when it's inconvenient. 1. She makes time for you even when it's inconvenient. Time. It's the one resource we can never get back, and how we spend it says everything about what or who matters to us. When a married woman starts making time for you, especially when it's inconvenient, it's not just a fluke. It's a deliberate choice, and it speaks volumes about where you stand in her priorities. Picture this. She has a demanding job, a family to care for, and a packed schedule. Yet, somehow she finds a way to carve out time for you. Maybe it's those late-night texts, those impromptu coffee breaks, or even moments when she skips out on her usual responsibilities just to meet you. This isn't about casual friendship anymore. It's about her making you a focal point in her life. Now let's get real for a second. Have you ever noticed how she reacts when plans fall through? Does she seem disappointed, almost eager to reschedule? That's a clear sign that your time together is important to her, perhaps even more than she's willing to admit. But why would she do this? The answer lies in the emotional weight she's placing on your connection. When someone consistently prioritizes you, even at their own expense, they're making a statement. It's as if she's saying you're worth the effort. And this isn't just about showing up, it's about the quality of those interactions. If your time together is filled with deep conversations, shared secrets, and genuine connection, she's not just passing time, she's investing it. Here's another layer to consider: sacrifices. What is she willing to give up to be with you? Maybe she skips a social gathering, cuts back on her time with family, or even lies about where she's going, just to steal a few moments with you. These sacrifices are not made lightly. They reflect her internal struggle, her need to balance the responsibilities of her life with her growing desire to be close to you. But let's step back for a moment and ask the big question: why? Why would a married woman go to such lengths? This is where Stoicism comes into play. According to Stoic principles, human behavior is driven by deeper emotional and psychological needs. In this case, she's seeking connection, understanding, and perhaps even an escape from the routine of her routine. It's not just about you as an individual, it's about what your presence offers: a sense of excitement, of being seen and valued in a way that might be missing elsewhere in her life. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's be clear. Just because she's making time for you doesn't mean you should immediately act on it. Understanding her actions is one thing, but reacting with integrity and respect is another. This is where self-awareness and composure come into play. Recognize the signs, yes, but always ground your response in your values. As we move forward, keep this in mind. Every action she takes is a piece of a larger puzzle. So the key is to stay present, observant, and mindful. In the next section, we'll explore another powerful signal when she begins to test boundaries. But for now, think about this. Who in your life has been making time for you even when it's inconvenient? And what does that tell you about their intentions? 2. She tests boundaries in conversations and physical interactions. Let's get into one of the most fascinating and revealing signs: boundary testing. This is where the real psychological depth comes into play. A married woman who's drawn to you won't necessarily declare her interest outright. Instead, she'll start pushing the limits of what's considered appropriate both for herself and for you. It's subtle, calculated, and incredibly telling if you know what to watch for. Imagine this: you're having a seemingly casual conversation and she suddenly drops a comment that feels different. Maybe she says something like, "If only my husband noticed the little things like you do," or "I wonder what life would have been smoother." On the surface, these remarks might seem harmless, even playful, but beneath them lies a deeper intent. These are her ways of testing the waters, gauging how you'll respond without overtly crossing any lines. Let's ask ourselves, what's really happening here? These comments aren't just random thoughts. She's exploring the space between you two, seeing how far she can go without stepping over the line. If you laugh it off or respond lightly, she might push further. If you reciprocate or show interest, she'll take that as a green light. But here's the kicker. Even if you don't engage, she's still learning. She's watching how you handle these moments, deciding whether to keep testing or pull back. And it doesn't stop at words. Pay close attention to her physical behavior. Does she find excuses to touch you? Maybe it's a light touch on your arm during a conversation, a playful shove when you joke, or even those accidental brushes that seem to happen a little too often. None of these are random. They're all deliberate moves to test your comfort with physical closeness. But why is she testing boundaries? It's not just about curiosity, it's about control. She's navigating her own feelings, trying to understand how far she's willing to go. At the same time, she's trying to figure out where you stand. Are you a safe space for her to explore these emotions? Will you respect her boundaries while acknowledging the tension between you? These are the questions running through her mind, whether she's conscious of them or not. Here's where things get even more layered. Beyond verbal and physical cues, look at the kinds of conversations she initiates. If she's opening up about her marriage, especially its struggles, that's a significant boundary she's crossing. Venting about her husband or sharing intimate details about her personal life isn't just about seeking advice. It's about deepening the connection, inviting you into a part of her world that's usually off limits to others. Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever experienced this? A conversation that felt unusually personal, almost like she was sharing more than she should, or a moment when her touch lingered just a second too long. How did you respond? Reflecting on these situations can offer valuable insights into the dynamic between you two. But here's the crucial part. How you handle these tests can make or break the interaction. If you respond with composure and respect, you'll build trust and deepen the connection in a meaningful way. This aligns with the principles of Stoicism, remaining calm, self-aware, and in control of your actions. However, if you react impulsively or cross her boundaries, it could escalate things in a direction neither of you is prepared for or cause her to retreat entirely. So what's the takeaway here? When you notice her testing boundaries, recognize it for what it is, a sign of deeper interest. But also remember to stay grounded. Respect her vulnerability and your own values. Attraction can be powerful, but it's your responsibility to navigate it with integrity. Now let's hear from you. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone was subtly testing your boundaries? How did you handle it? Drop your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and insights. And if you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a like. It helps more people discover these discussions and equips them with the tools to navigate their own interactions with confidence. 3. She displays subtle yet constant jealousy. Jealousy, it's one of the most powerful primal emotions. Even when it's subtle, it can reveal a great deal about someone's true feelings. If a married woman harbors hidden attraction for you, her jealousy won't always be loud or obvious, but it will make itself known in the quiet shifts of her demeanor. Let's dig into how this unfolds. Imagine this. You casually mention another woman during a conversation. Perhaps you're talking about a coworker, a friend, or someone you recently met. Then suddenly, her expression changes, even if just for a moment. Her smile might falter, her eyes might narrow ever so slightly, or her tone might shift. Maybe she follows up with a seemingly light-hearted comment like, "Oh, she must be special if you're talking about her so much." On the surface, it's playful. Beneath, it's tinged with something deeper. Why does this happen? Because jealousy, even when subtle, stems from a sense of emotional investment. On some level, she sees you as more than just a friend. The thought of another woman taking up space in your life unsettles her, even if she'd never admit it outright. So this discomfort, this quiet protest, is a clear sign of her underlying feelings. But it doesn't stop there. Pay attention to how she behaves when other women are physically present. Does she position herself closer to you, perhaps leaning in more during conversations or finding ways to command your attention? Does she laugh a little louder at your jokes, subtly outshining others in the room? These actions aren't coincidental. They're her way of reasserting her place as someone significant in your life. Another common sign of jealousy lies in how she talks about other women, as she might make offhand comments that subtly downplay their qualities, perhaps questioning their intentions, critiquing their behavior, or even offering advice that steers you away from them. This isn't just about being protective, it's about eliminating perceived competition. Her underlying message is clear. No one else gets to be as close to you as I am. Body language can also be incredibly revealing. When jealousy strikes, watch for signs like crossed arms, tightened lips, or a forced smile when you mention another woman. These micro-reactions often escape conscious control, making them some of the most honest signals of her true feelings. That even her posture might shift, she might lean away momentarily, signaling discomfort, only to lean back in as if to reclaim her territory. Let's go a step deeper. Jealousy often comes with an emotional intensity that colors your interactions. Conversations might feel more charged, with her responses carrying a subtle edge, or her interest in your life becoming even more pronounced. She might bring up inside jokes or shared memories as a way to remind you of the unique bond you share. These moments aren't just nostalgic, they're tactical. She's reinforcing her role as someone irreplaceable, someone who understands you in a way others don't. Now think about this. Jealousy isn't always negative. In fact, it's a powerful indicator of emotional connection. It reveals her vulnerability, her desire to be seen and valued by you, but it's also a double-edged sword. Left unchecked, jealousy can create tension, leading to moments of conflict or confusion. Here's where self-awareness becomes crucial. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean exploiting them. It's about understanding the dynamic at play and responding with empathy and composure. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and measured in the face of emotional intensity. When you notice her jealousy, acknowledge it internally, but don't let it dictate your actions. Instead, use this knowledge to navigate the relationship thoughtfully, ensuring that your choices align with your values. Jealousy, when handled with care, can deepen a connection. It highlights the stakes of the relationship and the depth of her feelings. But it also serves as a reminder of the importance of boundaries and mutual respect. As you become more attuned to these subtle cues, you'll find yourself better equipped to manage complex interactions with confidence and integrity. 4. She becomes unusually supportive and involved in your life. Let's take a closer look at a behavior that might initially seem innocent or even flattering but carries much deeper implications. When a married woman becomes unusually supportive, this isn't your average "I'm here for you" kind of support. It's a level of involvement that feels almost intimate, as though she's stepping into a role that's more akin to a partner than just a friend. Imagine you're going through a tough time, Maybe it's work stress, a personal challenge, or even a major life decision. As she's the first to offer help, and not just any help, her support is detailed, thoughtful, and deeply personal. She checks in on you regularly, offers advice tailored specifically to your situation, and makes herself available at a moment's notice. At first, it might feel like she's simply being a good friend, but as this pattern continues, it becomes clear that her investment in your well-being goes beyond what's typical. So why would she do this? Emotional support is one of the most powerful ways to create and deepen bonds. By being there for you consistently, she positions herself as someone you can rely on, someone indispensable in your life. The more you lean on her, the stronger this connection grows. Over time, this dynamic can create a kind of dependency where you start to see her as an integral part of your personal support system. But let's dig deeper. Have you noticed her involvement extending into areas that feel unusually intimate? Perhaps she's helping you with personal projects, offering financial advice, or even stepping in to assist with family matters. These actions aren't just helpful, they're boundary blurring. She's embedding herself into the core of your life, creating a sense of closeness that can be hard to distinguish from something more profound. And here's where it gets even more revealing. With this heightened level of support often comes a subtle possessiveness. She might start giving you advice on your love life, but her suggestions seem to have an underlying motive. Perhaps she subtly discourages you from pursuing other women or critiques your choices in a way that steers you away from potential relationships. This isn't about looking out for your best interests. It's about maintaining her position as your primary emotional confidant. Now think about the emotional weight of her involvement. When someone invests this much time and energy into your life, it's rarely without personal stakes. Whether consciously or subconsciously, she's building a bond that goes beyond friendship. And with that bond often comes a desire to be seen as unique, as someone who understands you in a way no one else does. But let's not forget the feedback loop this creates. The more she supports you, the more emotionally involved she becomes. And as you start to rely on her support, the connection deepens, often leading to a blurred line between friendship and something more. This cycle can be incredibly powerful, fostering a dynamic that feels both comforting and intense. So how do you navigate this? First, recognize the signs for what they are, a signal of deeper emotional investment. But also take a step back and reflect on your own boundaries. Are you encouraging this dynamic, or are you maintaining a healthy distance? Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our actions and their impact on others. In this case, it's about ensuring that the relationship remains grounded in mutual respect and integrity. Now let's bring it back to you. Have you ever experienced this kind of intense emotional support from someone? How did it make you feel? Did you notice a shift in the dynamic, or did it feel natural at the time? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could help others recognize and navigate similar situations. And if you're finding value in these discussions, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps spread the message and brings more people into this community of self-awareness and growth. 5. She mirrors your behavior and interests. Mirroring, it's a fascinating and subtle psychological phenomenon that can reveal more about someone's feelings than words ever could. When a married woman is drawn to you, she might unconsciously begin to mirror your actions, speech, and even your interests. This alignment isn't random. It's a deeply ingrained human behavior aimed at building connection and rapport. And when it shows up in your interactions, it's a powerful indicator of attraction. Think about your recent conversations with her. Have you noticed her adopting your phrases, matching your tone, or even mirroring your gestures? Maybe you've mentioned a particular hobby or interest, and suddenly she's into it too. At first glance, these might seem like coincidences, but they're anything but. This kind of mirroring is her way of creating a sense of us, subtly reinforcing the idea that the two of you are on the same wavelength. Why does this happen? On a subconscious level, mirroring helps foster a feeling of closeness and similarity. It taps into a fundamental human desire, the need to be understood and to connect with others who just get us. By aligning her behavior with yours, She's building a bridge between your worlds, creating a dynamic where your connection feels effortless and natural. But it's not just about matching your words or actions. Mirroring often extends to lifestyle choices. Perhaps you've mentioned a new book, diet, or workout routine, and suddenly she's interested in those same things. This alignment isn't merely about shared interests. It's her way of embedding herself into your world, making your lives feel more intertwined. Let's take it further. Have you ever noticed her adjusting her pace to match yours, whether in conversation or even in physical movements? Maybe when you lean in, she does too, or when you laugh, her laughter follows in sync. These subtle cues may seem insignificant in isolation, but together, they weave a powerful narrative of connection and mutual understanding. What makes this behavior so compelling is its subtlety. Often she might not even realize she's doing it. But once you're aware of the signs, they become impossible to ignore. Each mirrored gesture, each shared interest, each synchronized movement is a quiet declaration of her desire to build a deeper bond with you. But let's not forget the emotional impact of mirroring. It's not just about actions, it's about creating a sense of belonging and familiarity. When someone mirrors you, it can make you feel more comfortable, more understood, and even more attracted to them. This isn't by accident. The connection feels seamless because in many ways it's designed to be. So what does this mean for you? Recognizing this behavior allows you to understand the depth of her interest. It's a subtle, yet profound way she's expressing her feelings without explicitly stating them. However, understanding these signs also comes with responsibility. Mirroring can create a powerful emotional bond, and it's essential to navigate this connection with clarity and respect. Ultimately, this behavior underscores the complexity of human relationships. It's not always the big, bold actions that reveal someone's true feelings. Sometimes it's the quiet, almost imperceptible gestures that speak the loudest. As you become more attuned to these subtle signs, you'll find yourself better equipped to understand and navigate the intricate dance of attraction. There you have it, 5 profound signs that a married woman may be attracted to you. From how she carves out time for you, even at the expense of her own obligations, to the way she subtly mirrors your behavior, each of these signs carries its own weight in the intricate dance of human connection. But recognizing these signals is only part of the equation. The real challenge lies in how you choose to respond. Attraction, especially in complex situations like these, is a test of your character and self-awareness. It's easy to get swept up in the thrill of attention and the allure of emotional closeness. But Stoicism reminds us of the importance of self-control and integrity. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength allows you to act with intention, ensuring your actions reflect your values rather than fleeting emotions. When you notice these signs, take a moment to reflect. What do they mean in the context of your relationship? What role do you want to play in her life? And what boundaries need to be respected to maintain your integrity? These are crucial questions that demand thoughtful consideration. Let's not forget, human relationships are nuanced and dynamic. They challenge us, inspire us, and sometimes confuse us. But within these complexities lie opportunities for growth. Whether you find yourself in a situation like this or simply observing from a distance, remember that every interaction is a chance to deepen your understanding of yourself and others. So what's your next move? It's up to you. But whatever you choose, let it be guided by clarity, respect, and a commitment to personal growth. Because at the end of the day, the most captivating quality you can possess isn't about how you respond to someone else's interests. It's about how firmly you stand in your own authenticity and values. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the hidden signs of attraction. If this conversation resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. And if you're ready to share your thoughts or ask questions, feel free to do so in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and perspectives. Till next time, stay mindful, stay confident, and continue your journey of growth and self-mastery.